President Jim Ballou. I'll need a motion for nominating somebody to serve as President Pro Temp for tonight's meeting.
I'd like to nominate Commissioner Dorhofer.
So.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Vice President Dorhofer?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Roll call called to order.
Commissioner Robbins?
Present.
Commissioner Kessler?
Here.
Commissioner Moline?
Here.
Vice President Dorhofer?
Here. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excuse me. The first item on the agenda this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and/or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, it will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items included in the omnibus for this month is the minutes of the regular board meeting dated July 24th, 2014, and the payables Westgate, Granger, and payroll through August 28th, 2014 in the amount of $1,044,758.89. Motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Commissioner Moline?
Roll call.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Vice President Dorhofer?
Yes, next item on the agenda is the welcome to visitors guests. Is there anyone wishing to address the board at this time? If you could please come up to the podium, state your name and address for the record.
Hi guys, my name is Tim Knuckles. I've been a active member.
Tim, excuse me, your address, please.
My address is 229 Alexandria Drive, Vernon Hills. And I'm in Deer Path. Currently work full-time for Morgan Stanley downtown and part-time for the Vernon Hills Park District. I actually am on schedule this evening, so I'm not going to take too much of your time this evening. But I just wanted to let you know that some things are need to be addressed by our leaders. There's only so much a single resident can do. Currently have a petition in order to get house leagues. This is community-based sports away from private entities, simply for the reason of improving and strengthening our community. I don't have any recourse against any private entities. I think they do a outstanding job at running travel programs, and that's what they were established for. I don't know how it happened, but they were hand-given the house leagues. And I think as leaders of the community, this needs to be addressed. I'm sorry if I'm emotional, but I just have a lot of things going on. Currently, I'm being attacked. I don't really have much recourse for the attack. Currently, I've been banned to coach not only my kids for house leagues, but for other residents that are very appreciated what I do for their kids. I think that's probably the main reason why I'm so emotional. So I apologize, but it's something that is really resting on my soul right now. I'd like to move forward and see exactly what I can do about this, but I need help. I can show you several things that I have in the works. One is a petition that I started just over a year ago. It's online at change.org. I was asked to close that by the Vernon Hills Cougars Youth Athletic Association to give them a chance. They asked me. There were some members that had signed, or there were some parents that had signed the petition and started to get worried that there would be repercussions. Maybe I play house league baseball, but my kid plays travel league football. They see my name in the petition, and now my kid's on the bench. I don't know if that happens. I hope it doesn't. But I don't have an answer. I simply don't know. I recently was asked by a lot of house league coaches. I would say, in my mind, it's almost 100%, to draft a letter. So I did. I don't have a child in house leagues baseball. I don't have a child in house league football, now that I'm banned. So the ban really doesn't do so much to me personally. I guess it's just sort of trying. It's an issue for my children. But moving forward, I plan on just keeping you guys abreast, let you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm not going to hide. I'm going to be completely out in the open. I'm going to give this to your clerk. You're more than willing to make as many copies as you want. Take a look at what I've done. Outside of that, if you have any questions for me, feel free.
Tom, being that this is public comment period, the board just takes in what you said.
Okay.
And at this point, we're going to just acknowledge we understand what you're going through. We hear you very loud and clear, and we thank you for stepping up and speaking to us.
Thank you. May I give this to you, clerk?
Please.
Thank you.
Is there anybody else that would like to address the board at this time? Next item on the agenda is financial reports for the period ending July 31st, 2014. Marla, any changes or additions to the financial reports? On file at the Lashon Center? Perfect, thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is reports and communication. Executive Director Jeff Lusher. Jeff.
Okay, thank you, Dave. We have 3 of the 4 affiliate groups that have confirmed their attendance tonight. So they'll be here as action items that we will hear from them with just some updates on their organizations. And this is a process that we will do annually in the month of August at our August board meeting. So just a note of just for future reference, whoever's running your organizations. We did have our playground meetings, neighborhood playground meetings for Stone Fence and Augusta last Saturday morning. And we had nice turnouts at both parks and got some good feedback from the residents that did show up. We have a program that we coordinate with a company called Kids Around the World that comes in and they do an assessment on playgrounds that we're going to demo. And this is an organization that uses any of the amenities that they feel are still worthwhile that they then convert and put into place in third world countries. So they've come in and they've agreed that the Stone Fence Park still is worthy of some further use in one of these countries. So our park staff will work with them on making those arrangements. So we're excited that that's going to happen. This week we started an FAC, the Family Aquatic Center. We're starting another 5-year improvement plan. It's basically an MEP plan that we've put in place, and James Kim is heading up that effort. along with Mike. And so we expect that process will take a couple weeks, and then we'll have something before the board. And it just helps us as more of as a maintenance plan with our capital projects over the next 5 years. I mentioned briefly in my updates to you about a proposal that we put before I put before the village manager, John Kalmar, about potentially looking at some rental fees for our HOAs that use the Lashin Center. I'll be following up with a presentation before the village board on Tuesday, September 9th. The consensus from the village board was supportive, with the exception of some of the fees that we had initially recommended. They'd like to see those lowered. So we'll present a couple options to them on September 9th, and I'll report back to the board after that. An update on our community survey. We have received, well, at least people who have completed. Our tally is as of today is about 550. So that's a very good sign, considering the last time we did this in '09, we had a total of 420 that responses. So we're still taking responses through the end of September, and then we'll put the data together at that point. So I'm excited about, just the numbers of people that have responded to date. Want to thank Matt Laporte and his staff, and a lot of the park staff, and James Kim and his staff for all the work that they've done over at Lakeview Fitness Center. We were shut down for a few weeks to just do an annual cleaning, and then also a lot of work in our aquatic zone. Place looks terrific. Had a little bit of a setback with the sauna yesterday, but we had it up and running today. So it's just an overnight issue that we had with one of the sprinkler heads that wasn't adaptable to the heat. Russ Reitfeld is here tonight from Lake County Public Works, which is an agenda item. He'll provide an update on the stormwater project. And then just lastly, a reminder, our last park chat of the year is going to be held next Tuesday, September 2nd, and that'll be out in Deer Path Park at the Warrington Playground. And that starts at 6 p.m., a half hour earlier than normal, just because of the daylight issue. So that would conclude my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jeff? Commissioner Robbins.
Jeff, you started off your report with the affiliates, and I think it is important to meet with them on an annual basis. And if August is the month, great. I just would like to reiterate to the affiliates that, that before our August meeting with them, that they give us, the required financial statements, tax returns, so that we can review them before our meeting.
So noted.
Any other questions for Jeff? Next item on the agenda is Finance and HR Superintendent Marla Pinero. Marla?
Good evening. I believe I mentioned at our last board meeting that in our search for new financial software, we had zeroed in on 2 companies. We've now met and did an extensive presentation with the first one, BS&A Software. We were very excited during the presentation. We think the software would really meet our needs. We have one more presentation on September 8th, and then we'll do a little visiting of companies that use this software, and then hopefully make a decision by the end of September. Our auditors were here last week and conducted their on-site portion of the audit. All went well, and I wanted to thank Debbie Miskey for all of the work she did in providing support material to the auditors through the week. Once again, announcing new employees. We've had a lot of new employees lately. We welcome 2 new teachers to our Little Learners Child Care. Amy Burgett was hired on August 14th. Amy was one of the teachers who had been working for the YMCA, but left when there was that period of uncertainty before we took over the Y. And then she had been working at Bright Horizons and then came back to us. Melissa Ratner was hired on August 20th, and she previously worked for the Stylewood Center in Libertyville and the Hawthorne School District, and was a lifestyle coach. The reason we're doing all this hiring in the child care is because we have had such a great response to the child care. Last year in September of 2013, we were at 58% capacity, and we're looking at being at 95% capacity in September of 2014. These are people that are already signed on and will be starting in September. So, and Ruth Reichenbach, who runs the center, said the calls just keep coming in and they keep doing tours, so that is going very well. And then one other change to our staff, Frank, and I'm always going to say his last name wrong.
Salam is what I've always said. Salam.
Salam, okay. He used to work at the Sullivan Center, then he was over at Lakeview, now he is coming back to the Sullivan Center, and he's going to be a new anchor there. And he is also going to become our IT support backup to Randy, which is something he's interested in and has already been doing for us kind of on a temporary basis. And then she will also be supporting Kathy Marcangelo in some of the work that we're doing to update RecTrack. Does anyone have any questions?
Any questions for Marla? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda, Recreation Superintendent Tom Ritter. Tom?
Good evening. I hate saying it because it just seems like it went too quickly, but summer is over, accept it. And I just want to remind everybody that this Labor Day weekend is our last weekend of operation at the Aquatic Center. We're open from noon to 5, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Hopefully it will stay dry for everybody and warm. But Monday at 5 p.m. we'll conclude the season. Preschool resumes their annual school year on Tuesday, September 2nd, the day after Labor Day. Our enrollment is pretty consistent with last year. Currently have 128 children. Last year at this time we had 130, so pretty much right on. Lost a little and gained a little depending on the age, which happens every year. So all the teachers are in, getting their classes ready. We've had parent orientations and everyone's ready to go for next week. The after-school program, as of this writing, last week there were 20 children enrolled, now we have 34. So a lot of last-minute enrollments for the after-school program. I attribute it to two things. One, people wait. It happens a lot in programming, they wait to sign up. I think one thing we did made a nice difference is every year there's a bus freeze. It's such a massive process for the school district to put the bus routing together. They put a bus freeze on changes from about mid-July to mid-September. So if people want to get into our program after mid-July, they can't get bused here until September, so they're kind of stuck. It's not the school's fault, it's reality, but that's what happens if they wait. So we decided to walk the kids from the South Campus schools, and I think that probably was the other reason for the increase in enrollment, that we can get them to the Sullivan Center. So people seem very happy with that. So there's 34 enrolled. They don't all go 5 days a week. They range from about 20 or 21 up to 28 per day. We started Wednesday. So far so good. The next, there's a movie tomorrow night, probably not going to be on film, but weather permitting, we do have the Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs 2 being shown at Deer Path Park tomorrow night at dusk, our final movie of the summer. And then our next scheduled special event will be on Saturday the 20th of September. It's our Worldwide Day of Play that we hold every year. Again, that's something Nickelodeon started a long time ago to get basically families together and kids away from electronics and television. We do a lot of traditional games, potato sack races, things of that nature, egg tosses. It's held at Century Park North. We'll have things out for people to do. They can play at their own leisure. The bago, the bocce, the horseshoes, etc. And we usually get, what's that?
It's no cost.
It's no cost, it's free. And we usually end up with between 150 and 200 people on a nice day. We provide hot dogs and lemonade, so mark that day on your calendar. If it's a nice day, come out and join us. Again, that's from 11 to 1. Kind of a unique event. There's a group of remote control sailboat enthusiasts that use Century Park quite a bit. People have probably seen them out there, and I don't know the details of their club and the activities that they do, but if it's something that interests you, that September 12th through 20th, they've reserved the Century Park, what we always call the boat dock shelter, for about 8 days, from a Friday through a Saturday, to have a competition. And I think they get, from what they tell me, people from all around the country. We're not talking hundreds and thousands. I think he said there's about 20 competitors per weekday and about 30 or 35 on the weekends. But these guys it's impressive what they do. They have some pretty large boats, and they have they put a boat out in the lake to, in case one of the boats crashes, to put out pylons and buoys. it should be a very entertaining rental group out there. Nice guys, so again, September 12th to 20th, we'll see some unique activities out at Century Park. And Marla touched on the Little Learners. Yeah, no, it's okay, it's okay. But yeah, the childcare is doing well, and the numbers I have are as of September 1st, basically the 84% capacity, but again, there's still people coming in the fall. That's where her numbers were higher, so again, childcare is doing great. That's my report, unless you have any questions.
Any questions for Tom?
I have a question. I'd like to work.
Commissioner Kessler.
The after-school program, you said 34. What's the maximum you can take?
The maximum we can take is 30 per day. So
Okay.
34 is the number
So
of
we're really-
enrollees, but they're not all 5 days a week.
So is there any room if people wanted to get in? Do we still have some days available?
On some days, I spoke with Gail today and she said full, but I think she's just trying to get things settled because it's a lot of last minute cramming. They got to get things organized. It's close to full, it's worth inquiring. If someone's interested, it's worth asking.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Tom? Thank you very much. Next item on the agenda is Park Superintendent Mike Moore. Michael?
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Commissioner Durhofer. The month of August, we started over at Rainy Park with a park chat on August 6th. We had a real good turnout, a lot of interesting comments. It was a beautiful evening. Also during August 6th, that evening was National Night Out. We provided support for the police department at Hartman Park with our large propane cooking grill, a couple of pop-up tents, and it was well attended. Also at Warrington Park, we had a movie in the park at the end of July. Good weather, good turnout. Also during the month of August was Rib Fest preparations. The tents that we acquired, our own tents, went up very nicely. They survived lots of rain. They survived very well, and they're very easy to put up, and they're colorful, and they serve their purpose. The post Rib Fest events, the turf held up even with all the rain we have, 1.25 inches of rain. The turf held up very nicely. As a matter of fact, incredibly, except where the vendors were, but easy to repair, and it'll be back in shape in a couple weeks. As Jeff related to in his report, we hosted the playground meetings for Stone Fence Park in Augusta on August 23rd at 9 and 10:30. Again, good attendance, chose colors, children had inputs. So it was a good event. We'll be contacting the vendors with our recommendations shortly. Also at Century Park, which is the host of Rib Fest, right before it, all the paths throughout the park were seal coated from north to south. Right now, throughout the parks, with the amount of mowing we had in our summer fertilization program, our crews are working overtime, mowing grass. We had a little week delay because of Rib Fest, but they've mowed every night since Monday on overtime, catch up and get all the parks mowed before Labor Day. As Jeff was saying, one of my colleagues saying, we have Park Chat at Warrington, 6 p.m. This coming Tuesday after Labor Day. Over to Lakeview Fitness Center. One of the big happenings there in the pool area was a renovation of the steam room. It started on time and finished on time, which was a good thing. If you had an opportunity to see it, it has a large 12-inch tile and 2-inch tile on the floor. A very big difference. And actually we gained space inside there by about almost 1.5 feet on the floor. Just because of the widths of the seats. Before the seats were almost 2 foot wide. Now they're the conventional 17 inches, 17 3/4 inches. So we actually gained floor space inside the sauna. We will have to call the tiler.
What if you got a big butt though, Mike?
Get on a treadmill.
Speak for yourself.
But I use it a lot, and I really don't notice a difference. We do have to bring the contractor back out. We got a little bit of standing water on the floor that he needs to address. The dry sauna, Dave did a real good bang-up job on fixing the door. Jeff experienced, fixed the door really good. And we had a little incident yesterday, but Dave was on top of it and fixed it immediately with a proper sprinkler head. The cardio weight room, park staff assisted with the moving of all the weight equipment. Conversed with Matt Laporte on this reorientation on creating modules of light fitness equipment, chest, legs, back, they're all grouped together, and that worked out real good. Also over at Park over at the Lakeview Fitness Center. Regina was busy, sprucing up the front of the building with new plantings. Staff removed 4 ash trees and did a lot of pruning in the parking lot. So when we plow, we're not hitting the branches. So it's really starting to shape up. Over at Deer Path and Garvanium, Lake County Public Works Contractor are busy closing up the project. Currently, new asphalt's been installed from Sullivan Pathway to Kids Castle and hydro seeding of all affected areas all the way down to Garvanium Park. The pathway, which is now from beginning of Garvanium Park on the north to the south end by Route 45, 80% of it will remain in gravel until around Halloween. This will allow the ground to dry out and be supportive of new asphalt paths because there's so much groundwater that it won't pass a compression test. So we're going to let it air out, we let it firm up, and then Lake County will, and Mancini will conclude the project with a new asphalt path around Halloween. We got to let that path breathe and dry out. Before I finish, I'd like to bring it to our attention. Throughout our park district, we have our park district, all our parks basically have paths. We have many, many miles of paths. There's a thing I like to call pathway etiquette. Use of our paths throughout our districts. And I ask that all users, please provide a warning when overtaking slower path users, walkers, strollers, people and their dogs, runners and cyclists, not yourselves or those who you're about to overtake. A common warning, if I'm a cyclist, I'm coming up on somebody, is on your left or on your right. Slower walkers, stay on the right side of the path in the direction you're traveling. Allow room for those to pass safely. Individuals wearing your earbuds, have the ability to hear your surroundings. Many times, as my staff drives through the parks, somebody have their earpods in, and they don't hear you coming, and you're in a truck or even in a snowplow, they don't hear you coming. Tune them down so you can hear, a cyclist or a runner that's coming up on you, that they announce to them, I'm on your left or on your right. And I ask that the users that are going faster on the paths, announce yourself. Make yourself present to the person you're about to overtake. Because the last thing you want to do is be startled or possibly, you veer as a walker because there's a bee or something, you get run over you bump by a runner, or you get clipped by a bicyclist. People are using the paths for a little bit more a faster pace than the walkers. Announce yourself, be courteous, and just be aware of pathway etiquette through the park district. That concludes my report. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Mike? Excuse me.
I have one comment. I mean, have we ever thought of maybe putting together some sort of etiquette placard and posting it a couple places prominently on the, I don't know, just, we have so many signs now.
I know, and that's partially why, Mike is making this public service announcement this evening.
No, it's a good idea. That's why I thought, well, maybe we take it one step further. I don't know.
Is that, and then we also plan on doing, with the village, when they do their, Vernon Hills TV show that they do monthly, is we've asked to be a part of that, and again, just try to get people to recognize the importance of path etiquette. We've had a couple, Mike's had a couple inquiries from residents that are heavy users, and we heard some from some of our park chats. We got some feedback from some residents. It's an 8-foot path, so it gets pretty tight if you're on a bicycle and you got 2 people walking side by side. So it's just more awareness. I think right now I'd rather try that route, Mike, than to sign, to oversign right now in the parks.
Or maybe just even something temporary, tent kind of, temporary sign.
Okay.
Move it around.
Keep ready, accept the pass.
I don't know, a list of 3 or 4 things that doesn't take forever to read.
Sandwich board.
Yeah.
Put it on one pad,
Yeah.
and then a month
Rolling
week later,
sandwich
put
board.
it somewhere else, and then
Okay.
put it somewhere. I don't
We
know.
can look at that.
Sandwich
We can
board,
look at that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just don't put it in the middle of the path.
Thank you, Mike.
You bet.
In the absence of Communication Manager Cheryl Barron, is there someone giving her report, or no?
Yeah, I just one thing I do want to mention is that our website is going live on Tuesday, September 2nd. So we ask people to be patient with us, because we will probably have, once it does go live, we'll probably have a tweak here or there that'll take a couple weeks, but just want to make sure everybody's aware of that. Okay, that's all.
Next item on the agenda, Commissioner Committee reports and communication. Hawthorne School District 73, Commissioner Kessler.
Oh, that's right, yes. I had had a meeting with Nick Brown, a couple of their board members, and a couple residents, talking about how to improve communications within their district. And we were trying to uncover all the different needs and different ways that we can reach people. And nothing was finalized, but it was really good dialogue and some new directions that they're going to explore.
Very good. Any questions? Next item on the agenda is board correspondence. The board has received one letter this month from the Vernon Hills Police Department. As you know, on Tuesday, August 5th, 2014, Vernon Hills Police Department hosted its 19th annual Night Out celebration. As in past years, it was a hugely successful event. Of course, the success we obtained was only possible because of the assistance and cooperation that was received from you and your staff. While I could name some of the people, I'm not going to chance it. So many of your staff members helped in all aspects of the event that I would surely forget someone. Let's just say that everyone in your department should be thanked. Again, thank you so much for your role in this year's event. Please extend my thoughts and gratitude to everyone in your organization. If I could ever be of assistance to you or your staff in any way, please do not hesitate to ask. Sincerely, Kim Christensen, National Night Out Coordinator, Crime Prevention Unit. So, thank you, Kim. It was absolutely our pleasure to support a great cause. Next item on the agenda is unfinished business. We're actually going to circle back, and we've got someone else under the visitors and comment period. If you'd like to come up to the podium and address the board. If you could state your name and address for the record.
Maher Nalawi, also my sister is sitting there, and the address is 1198 Streamwood in Vernon Hills. And the question I have, please, is about the public garden or vegetable garden that's already existing there. I have some concern as a resident with the local residents in that block about this vegetable garden in terms of our privacy, because numerous people come every day to check their gardens and tomatoes and vegetables. Probably, my estimate, at least 50 people. So we have questions about privacy, also concern about security. My sister has 2 little kids there, and they're playing outside in that garden. And the third question, is there any plan of moving it or expanding it locally? I have concern about possible expanding it in the future, because we heard from the village that it's popular.
Jeff, would you like to address the expansion, what we just did?
Well, there's in that location by Century Park, by the boat docks, there's no plan for expansion of that site. There's currently 16 plots there, and that's what we established when we put it in 3 years ago. So there's no plans to either relocate that site or expand that site.
So before the site was put up initially, we contacted all the residents, and I understand you're fairly new to the location, but we contacted all the residents about the possibility of putting it there, and we had got some feedback, and there was no, part of the reason that was chosen, that area was chosen, was because all of the residents there were very supportive of putting it there. Understand we've made some minor changes to putting a fence around the fence to add a little more safety. And that's, within season, that's about all you can do. I think we're gonna look at next year, possibly looking at a different type of secure fence. We're doing something a little different there on the fencing to see. You know, it's one of those things where it's a difficult situation because it's not a profit. We don't make any money out of that, so it's sole expense, but we wanna make sure that everything is secure both inside and outside. And we appreciate your coming up to address the board.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Next item on the agenda is new business, annual update for general use ordinances. Jeff, could you please update the board on the new general use ordinances?
So this will be a new action item that we'll do. This is a requirement of our accreditation program that we just provide any new ordinances that maybe came before the board during the last fiscal year. So the 2 of significance that came before you was the no smoking conduct ordinance, and then the issue of concealed carry that we were required to do by state statute. So just more for a point of reference, you had those documents that were in your packets, and it's just an update for you.
Very good. Next item on the agenda is the annual updates from our affiliates. We have sent an email to all of our affiliates to ask them to come in and please update us on their current status of their program. Andrew Reebok from the Vernon Hills Soccer Club, if you could please approach the podium and bring us up to date on what's happening in the soccer world in Vernon Hills. And
Hello, everyone. Thank you. So this is our first year as an affiliate with the Park District. It was a very successful year, starting with the spring of 2014. It was the first time we had registration through the Park District, and we had our biggest enrollment ever. We were up about 25%, about 320 kids in the spring session for the recreational league. That was followed by the fall, where we had 345 kids, 38 teams, a lot of first-year coaches. So we're seeing a lot of organic growth, a lot of Vernon Hills residents staying here and playing with the Cougars. Next year, our projections are that we'll continue to grow, and we could reach 400 by next year at this time. So that's exciting. We're also looking at the feasibility of a middle school league. Currently, we're stopping at 5th grade, but there's been some requests for middle school, so we're looking to see if we can put something together for that as well. On the travel side, we just started a couple of weeks ago. We've got 16 teams, approximately 200 players between U8 and U14. So we continue to grow. We started, again, a soccer program 6 years ago at U8, and now that team is at U14. So we continue to grow there. 5 of the teams played last week in a preseason tournament. 3 advanced to championship games. So we're happy with the early outcomes. We had some successful summer camps this past summer. Participated in senior nights with the high school on both the boys and the girls side. Indoor academies were successful last January through March, so we'll plan on doing that again this year. I'm working with Joe on the dates. The tournament that we were looking at running this fall, it was just a little bit too much for us to put together, and we didn't want to get started off on the wrong foot, so we delayed that, and we plan on having a tournament next fall and starting the logistics of that a little bit earlier. And last thing is we have a fundraiser in a couple of weeks. We've been doing this for 4 years. We go out to a Chicago Fighter game. About 150 or 200 members from our club join us out there, so it's a lot of fun.
Couple questions for you.
Yes.
Are you currently or in the process of becoming 501c3 or a not-for-profit status?
We are. We were approved in the last year. I think last time we were here, we actually had approval. So we're currently under our first audit. So we're working with an auditor and kind of understanding what it takes to do that. But yes, we're already approved under 501(c)(3).
And as part of that, you'll be doing a state tax return?
Yes.
As part of it?
We're on
when that gets completed, if we can get a copy of that,
yep.
that'd be fantastic. And the last question I've got for you is, what can we do to help you?
Well,
how can we support you?
Right now, you guys are very supportive. The 2 things that we wrote down for areas to talk about in the future as we continue to grow is fields and lights, because in the fall, right now in particular, with lights only on half the fields, we are doubling up, even tripling up on the fields out there. So I think as we continue to grow, we'll want to work with you to come up with some creative ideas. I know last year we offered to invest in some lights with the village, and I think you were a part of that, and that got pushed off a little bit, but we're still obviously open to that and hoping that might come to fruition.
And that, for fear of blasphemy in this town, Fields 2, 3, and 4, are they big enough to have, because I don't think Cougars aren't doing baseball at this time of year, are they? I don't believe they are.
No, I don't think so. I think there might be some programs out there. I see some cars from time to time.
I know there's adult softball on one.
Yeah. I think it would help a little bit in the outfield, especially for
Is there enough room to do
for
something?
our younger kids. Yeah, I think so. I think we looked at that with Tom a couple of years ago. I can look at that again. The challenge is as we get older, the bigger fields.
I understand that, but if you can get a couple of little fields, you know, maybe it creates a little more space other
Yeah,
areas.
it might. It might. So we can look at that and talk about that.
I do know, Dave, that I did confirm with Dave Brown from the village that they do plan on putting lights on 10 through 12.
10 through 12.
Yeah.
Good.
So
That'd be great.
lights are coming
When
10 through
that's-
12, so.
When that's going to happen, there was an issue of the current lights out there at 60. I think they're 60-foot poles, and they've been requested to put 90-foot poles in for some reason. I'm not sure why. So they're kind of looking at, just from an engineering standpoint, how that's going to potentially work out. And you know, he just told me that it's on their priority list.
Great.
So that's a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know, that's a good thing. Obviously, the sooner the better. And I know you guys have, you know, at least committed to, you know, to helping support, you know, that effort. And I think that's a great thing, Andrew.
Great.
You know, so that'll open up
Yeah, absolutely.
a world of space.
Yes.
I think for everybody out there. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Commissioners, any other questions for Andrew?
I have a quick question.
Commissioner Kessler?
Sounds like your program is growing, which is fantastic, and congratulations on all the hard work. Do you ever do any kind of survey to the people who participate as far as their thoughts or satisfaction type thing?
Yeah.
I know we used to do surveys when we had programs, and I'm just wondering.
you know, we haven't to date, but it's a good idea. I'll bring it back to our board, and maybe after, you know,
End of season
after the
survey.
season, do it, you know, through a survey
And
monkey.
I guess I'm thinking that because we're in the middle of doing a survey, so I don't know if there's anything we could ever do to help you.
Yeah, oh, that's a
do
great
that,
idea.
and kind of just to, I mean, it sounds like things are going well, but just to always stay in touch and get new ideas.
Yep, good suggestion, thank you.
And that is, just while, you know, Commissioner Kessler, that is one of our questions we posed on our community survey, is just to answer if you're active in one of our affiliates, and then we listed them all, and then we ask a follow-up, you know, if there's anything that you'd like to comment on, so.
Well, I thought maybe we could even do one specific for each of the different affiliates if that's something.
The Stingers do that, and I think they can probably give you the template for it.
Yeah, that'd be
It's
great.
Pretty easy, pretty
Absolutely.
straightforward.
Survey monkey.
Something, yeah, just.
Yeah, Survey Monkey.
Yep.
I wouldn't use the stingers for much.
Thank you, Andrew, appreciate it.
Thank
Next, I'd like to invite up Scott Commodore and Rick Weingart from the Vernon Hills Stingers to give an update.
Good evening, Rick Weingart, 254 Stone Fence.
Scott Commodore, 305 Richmond Place.
We just finished our first season also with the Parks District as an affiliate. Our organization's been around for about 20 to 25 years right now. I've been with them for about 12, 13 years. Scott's been about 8 to 10 years. Last year in 2013, we had 7 teams, about 84 girls. Or I'm sorry, in 2014, we had about 84 girls, 7 teams from 10U to 18 to 16U. We did not have an 18U team this past year. We just finished our trials for 2015. We've increased up to 30%, up to 110 players, 9 teams, which is the most we've ever had. We're going to have 2 teams at 10U. It's only the second time that since I've been here, that we've had that many teams at 10U. We're going to go up to 3 teams at 12U, which is the most we've ever had at that age level, and then 2 at 14, 1 at 16, and 1 at 18.
Great.
So we've done very well there. We're mostly a volunteer organization. We do pay a few coaches at the upper level, but most of the part we're volunteer. We rely heavily. We're probably the lowest cost travel organization in this area. softball, in this area. We rely heavily on fundraiser. We do a pizza fundraiser once a year, a cookie dough fundraiser once a year, a car wash once a year, and then the rest comes through our player program fees. We do, in this past year, just as an idea, at 10U, we took all the players that tried out, no cuts at all. At 12U, we did the same thing. We had 37 players try out at 12U. We took all 37 of them, no cuts. At 14U, we were unfortunate. We were in between 2 and 3 teams. Of the 2 teams we took, we had to cut 8 players, and they were all non-Vernon Hills players. And at 16 and 18, we were able to get 1 team at each level, and we cut no Vernon Hills players at all. So we're very proud. We're very proud of that. Our goal is to try to get these girls, whether they're 10 years old or 12 years old or 14, ready for high school, so that when they do get to high school, they'll be an asset to their high school coach and to their high school team. I don't think I have anything more else to add than that. We are in the process of getting our 501c3. We hope to have it soon. I'm trying to finalize the paperwork, hopefully within the next week or so. I'll be able to do that. Anything else you want to add? All right. So I think that's it for us. If any questions.
Do you have a 501c3 or a nonprofit number yet?
Not that I know of. I'm just working with our lawyer. We have some lawyers on our board. I'm working with them to finalize all the paperwork.
Okay. Haven't filed the tax return as of yet for the organization?
We did an extension of our tax return. We do have to file one in the next few months.
Okay. When that's complete, if we can get a copy of that, please.
Sure.
And the last question again is same question: is what can we do to help you?
You guys.
You guys have done a great job. Fields you maintain. We had tryouts last 2 weeks with a lot of rainy days, and every time we got to the fields, they were in great shape, so I want to thank you for that. Like Rick said, we have 3 more teams this year than we've had in the past, so I'd like to start conversations with Jeff eventually. I'll shoot him an email about maybe another field or 2 for a home field for games and maybe 1 or 2 for practices. So that's really about it.
Board have any questions for the Stingers? Thank you guys very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lastly, I'd like to invite up Rocco Pasula, for the Vernon Hills Lady Cougars basketball update.
Is it the Lady Cougars?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't want to be confused with boys and
With the
Cougars.
gentleman Cougars?
The gentleman, yes. Rocco Pasola, 220 Knightsbridge Drive in Mundelein, and I've prepared a packet for the board members. Can I bring it up?
Yeah,
Please.
Protocol here. It's one for each board member, and Jeff, I've got one for you with the documents, the financial documents. Basically, just, does everyone have one?
So you guys know. Red covers.
This is, yeah, very impressive.
Basically, the first page is just a program executive summary on our past season, and it outlines who our board members are and who our advisory board member is from the Vernon Hills Park District, which is Joe Bruntmeyer, and he is a very active participant at all of our board meetings and other activities that we need his help with. Our fiscal year goes from July 1st to July 1st to June 30th, and we typically have 3 to 4 board meetings annually. I don't know if you want me to go through, I don't want to read through this line by line, just some of the high levels here. Last year we had 5 teams, 53 participants, 91% of those participants were Vernon Hills residents.
Just going to clarify that. You're a feeder program.
Yes.
Vernon Hills resident, 91%.
Yes.
Just want to clarify, you're talking about the people who live in?
District 128. That's our league rule.
Okay. For the Park District, they're part of our constituency because we've extended the boundary to match, so you would be 100%.
Oh, that'd be great. But with that said, though, there are players, residents in Libertyville and Mundelein that also live in District 128, and they're eligible to be part of our
That's
league.
what he's talking about.
Is that what you mean? Oh, okay,
Yeah.
understood. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Okay, good. Our fees are listed here, $495 for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders per person, and $395 for our 5th grade players. Again, you know, our coaches training, we've implemented quite a comprehensive coaches training program. Actually, this past season, we put in a sexual abuse awareness policy that our insurance provider requires that we have one. And we take them through that training. And let's see, what else? Vernon Hills Park District affiliation. We like to think we have a great relationship with you guys. Like I said, Joe's very active. We have great support from Jay as well, and Tom helps us out whenever we need his help too. But on here's a list of some of the things that you guys help us out with, and we greatly appreciate it. We are a 501c non-for-profit organization. I've included our federal tax ID number on here. We have filed our federal tax returns that was submitted last Saturday, August 23rd. We've also filed our AG 990 form, which is the Illinois Charitable Organizational Annual Report, which was also submitted on Saturday. And I've also listed the accounting firm that does our tax return. And Jeff, you have these documents in your packet. Okay. Any questions on this page? Or, okay.
I have one.
Oh, sure.
One comment. Again, I just looked at this very briefly. Obviously, Jeff just gave it to me. There was a mistake on the return. The accountant showed you as a 501c7. You're a 501c3 organization. It's important that they correct that.
Right. Let's see. What page are you referring to, or what section?
The 990EZ.
What's the difference?
There is a difference, and I can't remember.
Sure there is.
Yeah, there is. And
you've been approved as a 501c3.
Right.
I'm not sure what the 501c7 is.
You know what, there is a difference, and I did look it up just the other day, and I'm sorry, I don't know the response to that, but that classification on this tax return is the correct one, according to what I've found out, according to my research. But if it needs to be corrected, we'll correct it.
If you just check on it, because the letter from the IRS says you've been approved as a 501c3.
Right.
That's,
I'll verify that. I'll look at that, and Jeff, I'll work with you and let you know what the difference is. But I did research that, and I'll get back to you.
501c7 is social clubs.
Social clubs, okay. I'm not sure we're a social club.
I think it just means
I've
that
seen you
you
guys
can
play.
serve
Sometimes you
fruit
are.
juice.
Yeah, we can be. We do have a lot of social events.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you can,
Fraternities and country clubs,
yeah.
yeah.
You can check into that.
Yeah, I will.
Unless you run a sorority of some sort, we don't know.
No,
Yeah.
we
I think it has to do with, the deductibility of the participant that makes the contributions to you is very important.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll look into that. Thank you. Next page here is our season preview. Just kind of some notes on here at a very high level. We've already started working with the Park District in scheduling a number of parent meetings. We have a pre-tryout parent meeting coming up on September 27th. Our tryouts are actually going to take place on October 5th and October 7th. And team selection will be completed by October 10th. Our goal, again, is to have 2 teams at 5th grade and 1 team at 6th, 7th, and 8th. And I've listed our tryout fees and our program fees on here as well, along with some other activities that we have coming up within the next few months, along with other activities throughout the remainder of the season, including fundraisers, tournament participation, and social activities with the Vernon Hills High School girls basketball program.
Thank you for being so thorough. Not that the other guys weren't just as thorough, but you have.
You got colored binders.
That's right.
Rocco, what can we do to help you?
Well, you know, really, my personal involvement with the Park District has really gone back several years, but we've formalized it over the last couple years, and I appreciate that. On the short term, a lot of feedback that I'm getting is that, well, let me start over. Short term, we get a lot of gym time from you guys for at the Hawthorne School gyms for practices. And what happens is, our season runs from November through the early part of March. And we like to have practices, most of our practices take place before January 1st at the high school. After that, gym time kind of gets real tight, and we really depend and rely on you to give us the gym time that we need so we can practice. And what happens is the gym time for January, we get that in December from you. The gym time for February, we'll get that maybe in January from you. And the feedback I'm getting from our parents is, can we get that gym time schedule booked sooner? Perhaps in November, when we schedule all of our other games and practices. That way we can upload that information to our feeder website. Parents know in advance exactly when those practices are taking place.
Yeah, and the answer to that, Rocco, is we're at the mercy of District 73 when they provide us with scheduling. And that's, the sooner we can get it, as soon as we get it, we pass it on. And that's one of the unfortunate items is we're at their mercy.
Can we at least?
Is there, Tom, is there anything else that you?
And I understand that Park District activities are priority, and and Joe and I have that conversation, and I understand. It's just the availability.
Yeah, that's not the issue. And we understand, parents want to know what their kids are doing so they can schedule their week and their month. And
So let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Would you rather know in advance and have cancels, or would you rather know late and have accuracy?
Accuracy. So
That's,
okay.
because we could do it out,
Yeah.
but then as we get the school's information, as we find out that, oops, we thought we were gonna have Tuesday, and they've got now skating in that gym, and we lost that gym, now we have to come and take it away.
No, we don't want to do that. So, but that's fine.
Yeah. Anything else we can do for you, since we helped you so much on that one?
Well, another thing, excuse me, another item is more in the long term. I'd like to have some discussions with the Park District regarding the expansion of our feeder program to a possible no-cut program, where we don't, we want to be able to have as many girls as possible that want to be part of our feeder program participate and get ready for high school basketball at Vernon Hills. And in order to do that, we would need to sit down with you and kind of understand, what does that mean to the Vernon Hills Park District? What does that mean to us? And is that even a possibility for us to do that? I don't know if you want me to get into some of those details now, or we could take it offline.
Quite honestly, we couldn't help you with that, but yeah, if you can get in touch with Jeff and Joe.
Sure.
And work through that, I'm sure that we'll be happy to work with you in any way, shape, or form we can.
Great.
Yeah, I would just say to all the affiliates here, one of the things that, you're all doing fundraisers throughout the year, give us enough notice and we can help promote that for you. We've got a pretty active constant contact site, our website, so if there's things coming up, again, we want to help you and we want to see you succeed. So if there's things, if you give us, a good 7 days notice on something coming up, we can do our best to, assist you with that. Additionally, we can put things in if we have a few months notice, we can put some items in our publication that goes out to 10,000 people. So if you've got a tryout date, like Rocco, if yours is the 6th and the 7th of October, if we knew that a month ago before we did our fall publication, we could help put that, put some advertisement in that to help you guys. Same with Stinger tryouts or your soccer club tryouts, Andrew. So just a point of information. Please use our for your advantage.
We do whenever that opportunity, and like I said, Joe, Tom, Jay, they're real helpful and real supportive, and send them an email and they help us out, so we appreciate that.
Thank you, Rocco, appreciate it.
Yeah.
To all the affiliates who came tonight, thank you very much for your time, appreciate the update. 2 reminders, when you get done with your taxes, if we could get a copy of your tax return when you get it back, when you file it, that'd be great. And secondly, as part of our affiliation agreement, we would like to know when your board meetings are, so that the Park District does reserve the right to sit in on a board meeting and monitor. I know that they do with Joe, sits in on yours. So if you could let the Park District know just when you're going to be meeting, so that if we choose to have a, we want to make sure that we're providing the best service to our constituents and that our affiliates are acting in the best interest of the community. So if you could just let them know when you're having meetings, your monthly board meeting or whatever that is, appreciate that. So thank you all very much. While we're on the subject of affiliates, I'm going to take a little bit of time myself here, just to update the board and update the public on my personal situation. Full disclosure with the affiliates, I am a coach with the Vernon Hills Stingers, and I am one of the compensated coaches, as Rick and Scott talked about. They do pay me a coaching salary to coach their 16 and 18U team. They have recently approached me about being on their board, and we have talked it over with an attorney familiar with Park District law, and it is absolutely legal that I do that. But I wanted to make sure that that my Board of Commissioners was comfortable with me doing that. B, the public knew that I would be looking at doing that, it provided that the board has consensus that they're acceptable with it. And lastly, that I will recuse myself in the future from any Stinger-related votes that we may have. I will take myself out of the discussion, take myself out of any voting that comes up as it pertains to the Stingers and the Park District directly. So, Commissioners, any comments you'd like to make?
I have no problem with it, no.
No issue.
Would support you.
Well, thank you very much. I will let them know my decision tomorrow. So, thank you all very much. Next item on the agenda, the Lake County Public Works Stormwater Project. Russ Rightweld, if you'd like to come to the podium, hopefully for one of the last times, and update us on the project at Deer Path Park / Garvanian.
The pipe is done. First and foremost, the pipe is done. Pipe was completed July 15th. Deer Path Park was opened August 1st, and Garvanian Park was opened August 22nd. So it's been about a week now. The restoration of the majority of the path through Garvanian, as Mike indicated earlier, is with stone. We know that we expect there to be minor settlement in a few locations, and the last thing we wanted to do is put back asphalt path and then have it settle, and then we didn't want to be patching it or doing anything like that. It's a brand new path, so to get the best product, we're going to wait. Mike indicated about around Halloween. I think the asphalt plants typically close around Thanksgiving, so it's going to be sometime in between those 2 holidays that we'll probably get the asphalt surface down. The path in Deer Path, all new, all the areas hydro-seeded. We're working through some punch list items, minor stuff here and there. All the light poles are back up, working, as far as I know. Today, we opened the last section of path. There was a small cut through between the sidewalk along Deer Path Drive and the CV ditch, the path that runs right next to the creek. That cut through is now open. We'll be keeping an eye on that and making sure that any of the asphalt that was able to remain through Garvanian Park is kept clean. It's been very wet, and with all the construction activity, there's been dust around there, so now we sweep it off. Any of the dust that's left gets turned into mud when it rains, so we'll keep an eye on it, we'll keep it clean. But can I say again, the pipe is done? Any questions?
Commissioner Moline.
There's about 100 feet of path back there behind when it goes from Garvanian. I think it's between the bridge to Stone Fence and Garvanian. What are we doing with that? I mean, it looks a little beat up, but that's part that you didn't actually cut out. It looks like you went alongside of it rather than under it right there. Are you going to tear that out and replace that as well?
I'm confused. The path north of the bridge?
South of the bridge, north of Garvanian.
Okay, and right now it's asphalt?
There's about 100 feet. I rode my bike back there last weekend.
Okay, so what the plan is for that is that when we come back in a couple months' time and do the rest of the asphalt surface, that remaining asphalt will be removed and the new asphalt will go right in its place.
That was my question. So you are going to take that out
Yes.
so that it's one continuous new pad?
Yes.
You're not gonna okay. When it comes to weather, I'm a little concerned, especially based on the way this project's gone to date. Is there going to be an issue if we suddenly get some really crummy weather between Halloween and Thanksgiving, and then the asphalt companies close their plants until March? I mean, are we cutting that a little close?
I don't expect that to happen, but obviously you don't know what's gonna happen, but I'll talk to my contractor and I'll talk to his paving subcontractor, and we'll come up with a good game plan, because I had a similar comment from my contractor last week, and I said, I don't wanna wait too long, because the asphalt companies all get really busy at that time of year when the plants are closing, and I wanna make sure that we're on somebody's schedule. So I'll make sure that we get that asphalt in this season 100%.
And I don't want to get too technical, but they're going to lay another base down before they actually put the asphalt in? Because, I mean, there's a lot of mud holes, and I mean, even now, it's kind of, yeah, it's open, but after even a moderate rain, you need wading boots in a couple spots.
Yeah, you know, one thing I failed to mention is that we're gonna dump one load of stone in the area, and the contractor is gonna touch up the stone as needed until we get the asphalt surface in place.
So when's that going in?
I don't believe he's dumped the load of stone yet, but we're gonna bring in a load of stone, put it somewhere down there by where the construction entrance was, and as needed, we'll do touch-ups on the path until the asphalt surface goes down.
Okay. Is there any way we can at least clean up? Now, I hear that, I talked to Jeff just before the meeting, I mean, that entrance down right at Deer Pat, just north of 45 there.
Yeah, where the construction entrance was.
Where the entrance was. I mean, are we gonna clean that up a little bit so it's not, I mean, because people drive by there and they think it's still under construction totally because it looks no different other than the fence being gone than it did for the last year.
Definitely. That location was where all the construction activity has ended. We worked our way out, if you will, from north to south. And that's where the construction entrance was. So one of the last things you can do is clean up that large rock and clean up that construction entrance once you know you're not going to have any more truck traffic. So that area was rough graded and hydro seeded, but they haven't been able to come back and finish it because it's been so wet. And the focus was to get the stone done so that we could get the walking path open. And that's why we had a short delay in getting the cut-through path open, which is open now. And the next thing on the agenda is to get that southern area restored and completed. And then we'll also be looking at any of the surrounding facilities there, like the concrete and the sidewalk and the curb, and we'll be making sure that all that stuff is replaced if necessary, and we'll make that area look as good as it did before we were there.
Okay, and then my last question, if there's anything you can do to clean up where the entrance is, where the sidewalk crosses that entrance? Because, I mean, I don't use it personally, but I'm back and forth along there on a regular basis, and a ton of people walk to and from the train station there. And up until the fence was, before the fence was removed, they would actually have to walk out in the street. Even now, I'm thinking a guy who's in his suit with his nice shoes on is going to have a hard time walking through that little 10 or 15 foot path there that's kind of half rock and half mud.
I know my inspector actually spent a sizable amount of time down there himself today.
Okay, and I haven't looked at it today.
Scraping it with the flat shovel and sweeping it with a broom. So the cut through and that section of sidewalk along the asphalt path that goes off of the sidewalk. That's now back open. That's all been swept, and we'll continue to keep an eye on that and keep that maintained.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Commissioner Robbins.
The finishing project that you have to do between the end of November and the end through Thanksgiving, how long is this supposed to take?
The path will be
October to Thanksgiving.
The path will be temporarily closed during the day so that we can get the asphalt placed, and then the sections where we'll need to remove the remaining asphalt, It'll be temporarily closed during the day, but I do not anticipate that should take more than 3 work days.
So if you started at the end of October, we're done the first, November 4th?
It'll be done in 3 days' time, yeah, maximum.
Are we doing anything with the path from the entrance of the construction over toward the train station, this picture right here?
Like the bridge.
Yeah, to the bridge? Is anything being done with that? This is being overlaid as well?
The scope of the overlay did not go all the way south to 45. And I can review any of that path with Mike, but none of that path should have been
Okay.
even touched by construction, but Mike and I can look at it.
That's right, didn't know if it was part of the.
Can you at least get it sealed, Russ?
I can check, that's a totally different ballgame because we're not doing any of that. If I had a guy that was on board doing that, I would definitely extend him to go do that, but that's a totally new service that we're not doing.
I know you didn't get in that area, but it still is dirty, dusty. I mean, from the photos you can see here, that might help if they just, get it sealed so it looks,
Okay.
when you finally do that 2-inch overlay, so it's at least coterminous with that.
So we've made a lot of final requests to you, and we're gonna keep throwing them on you. Eventually, you're done. So the sooner you get done, the less we get to request.
The pipe is done.
Pipe's done, but the job's not. You were very, very kind, and we truly do appreciate putting in the water line. And that's a huge help to us, both long-term for if we want to do anything in that area. But I do have a request for you. If you guys could consider putting in a fountain, getting us a fountain so we can tap in and get our residents who've been significantly inconvenienced for significantly longer than we expected. If we could get a water fountain to tap into that line, one of those 3 levels, we can get kids, adults, and our lovely pets that are walking in that part of the park. I'd really appreciate you considering that.
We can definitely consider that.
Anything else? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pipe's done?
Pipe's done.
Next item on the agenda is the WW Granger invoice payable in the amount of $1,687.73.
So moved.
Second?
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Vice President Dorhofer?
Abstain. Next is Commissioner comments. Commissioner Meline.
None, thank you.
Commissioner Robbins.
Nothing.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes, I was at Lakeview Fitness Center, and I just think that the improvements and the cleanup and the reconfiguration turned out very well, so thank you for all that hard work. Hope everyone's enjoying it.
And for myself, ditto to what you said. I think Lakeview Fitness looks phenomenal. I think they did a great job. Congratulations and thank you to all the people that worked on RibFest. Great time. For those of you that didn't make it, you're missing a great experience and a great community event. So thank you to all that did that. Motion to adjourn.
Hey, can I just say one
Oh,
thing?
yes.
That people should go to YouTube and look up the Vernon Hills Park Board of Commissioners
Park Board
took the
Commissioners.
ALS bucket challenge. So
Yes.
if you just kind of Google that well, not Google that, but if you search that on YouTube.
Search that on YouTube. Vernon Hills Park
It was
District.
updated tonight, and you'll get a nice chuckle, so.
And Village Board, we're waiting.
Yes.
So motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Vice President Dorhofer?
Yes, we are adjourned.